All right, let's,
'Cause
let's see.
that's so much more better.
Is it? Is it really?
It's not really, but it's much better. Wait a minute. What am I looking for here? Oh, wait.
There you
I'm
go.
in
Change the date.
I'm in the wrong stuff. There it is. It's much
Change the
better.
date. Change the change the date. Change the title.
Right.
Change. You working on that?
Yeah, doing that.
All right.
Hey, it's March.
It is March.
It is March.
March.
Big game March. I don't know why. Uh,
So
so
yeah, yeah.
this is what we're gonna call doing the show.
Doing the show intro March.
Yeah,
In
you know.
March. Okay, what's going on, everybody? It's Mark with
Greetings, fellow
NAS
Stargates.
Aero Systems. If that's what we're even calling ourselves nowadays.
What?
I don't know what I'm doing.
What do you mean?
So, as you
What do
can
you?
see, I
You don't know what
have
you're doing.
base updates and of course tech talk because we always got to do some tech talk
We
because
do have to do some tech talk. It's
that,
always
that's
nice.
that's really what we're about at this point. But so the base updates, it's kind of funny because it's not. It's kind of an update.
It's
So
kind of funny.
as you guys know, I've been in the works with a few of these positions here, and
You know, the missionary, the 69,
I yeah, and
the wheelbarrow.
I didn't get as much as it pains me to say I didn't get the supervisor position, and I just had another interview today for an IT position that I did not get. So as of right now, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here.
These are new. This is news.
So this is
This is
news, but this
news.
isn't the news I wanted.
Okay, good. Now put the damn codes on the fins.
On top of that,
Oh,
I
on
still
top of
have
that.
two more pending situations that still would allow me to move to that area. Um, so I've got to follow up on those within the next couple of days to find out what the scenario is going to be, like what they're if they're even going to just transfer me up there, like my boss is trying to do for me, and still keep the same job and not have to get a different position, or if that falls through, then my buddy who was going to hire me for the supervisor position has another position that is available for me to get. But I don't know if that's guaranteed either.
Planet
So
of the Apes.
with that in mind, if both of those fall through, there is one locally that I will probably get that is a promotion, which means I'll end up sticking around here for at least 2 more years.
Well, see, then that wouldn't be so bad. At least
But
it does.
and then
Oh my God,
and then
that
in the
doesn't mean
long
we're gonna end
run,
up having to wait 2 years for you to
no,
put a
no, no,
line
no,
up
no,
and
no.
update and stuff.
So then at that point, I would still move, but it would be a local move, and it would be a more permanent, and that probably might be the. I don't know if we'll
Check
still
this
end up
out.
trying to go to Orlando or Tampa area after that, but that'll be so far in down the road that I don't know if that's even an option at that point because that pay raise will be so dramatic that I don't know if they can cop me enough to even pull me to that area. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, I
Because
got you.
I was already willing to take a pay cut to go there from where I'm at now, or where I'm gonna be at next month, I should say, because I get a pay raise next month, which is substantial enough as it is. So for me to get another pay raise here and go up even more,
It
and
doesn't make
then
sense for them to do it.
and then them try to offer me something in Orlando or Tampa would be tough, because that would be a pay cut by a lot. A lot.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I was
you
already
live and you
willing,
learn.
I was already willing to sacrifice 14,000.
Jeez.
So,
How much were you making in 2011?
probably double that.
Wait, we're talking 11 here.
2011?
Yeah.
Wait, when was that? What was that? When I was up there, right?
Yeah.
I was making like maybe 30 up there.
Okay, what about 2013?
What was I doing there?
I don't know.
Car sales. Right?
Oh, okay, yeah, that.
That was car sales. Yeah, I was making good money doing that.
Okay.
I was making good money doing that. I was making,
Okay.
60 plus.
And driving cars, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, and then there was quite a few times I was, 1 year I cracked 100, so
Which is always good.
Yeah, yeah. But see, that's the thing. So, and I'll kind of give you guys a little bit. I make 59 right now, a little over 59. I'm getting ready to make 68 next month. This is base, obviously, before taxes.
Well, yeah.
A little over 68.
Robert, oi, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Yeah. So, at that point, the job that I just had the interview today for, the lady said no, because I just don't have the exact experience that she's looking for, and I don't have certifications, which is fine. I get that part. I'm working on that. That's my goal for this year, is to get those certifications.
I always thought that was so funny. In like the real world and shit, nobody wants you to have certifications. They want you to have degrees. But the military, on the other hand, they just happy with certifications, which always makes sense.
This was DOD. This was DOD. It was actually
Department of Diapers.
Army.
Oh. The Dodd.
It was actually at the Shades of Green Resort on Disney property. It was an IT network position. But because even though I'm an IT specialist here, and I make more money than that job offered, I don't have the experience to do that. If I had the experience and didn't have the certifications, I probably would have got it.
Man.
But
working for the great
I don't have
Satan.
firewall experience. And I don't have, what else was she looking for? Dang it, she said something else that she was looking for, but I don't have that either.
She's got some openings you need to fill. Yeah, it was just bad. Sorry. Stearns hasn't moved.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't imagine Stearns hasn't moved. It would just be a matter of opening or closing other bases.
yeah,
That's what we're like keying in on here.
Yeah, so basically, with that in mind, like this position, she was only going to pay max like 54.
See, what you need to do, like do what you said before when you was talking about how you probably have like Orlando's a new base and or certain bases are new and so on and so forth. You need to go through and check on those again, because you probably have, because of the places you stayed,
Yeah, but I could literally just pick one.
Well, it wasn't more so that. It was like, what were you talking about? Didn't you talk about like going to the Dells? We went to the Dells one time. And What's the other one you said? Like somewhere up north or something?
Yeah, well, we put those on there. We put those
Are
on
they
there.
on it? Are they on it? Okay, well if they're on it, then we're cool.
Yeah, I thought we put those on there.
We probably did.
And I thought I put a date on there. Yeah, because I went back and looked at photos.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
do. I do remember doing that because we had
I remember doing
photos.
that. Yeah. So we got the dates, then we're good.
Yeah.
Well, but we got to get you like that. Because I think we're close with you. So
Um.
um
Yeah.
yeah,
So
the show obviously didn't happen because he got called in to do these interviews last week.
yeah. So I left Wednesday last week after work and drove up and found out that I didn't get that job. Had a meeting on Saturday with him to to find out what was going on and everything else. Um. And then I get back. As soon as I get back on Tuesday, I get an email for this job that I interviewed today. And then thankfully, she didn't leave me hanging. She basically said, well, at this time, I'm going to have to say no because I need somebody with this, this, and this.
Well, like at least she told
At
you,
least, yeah, at least she told me, and she's like, well, okay, I'll be getting in touch with HR and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm sitting here waiting for weeks on end for her to finish up interviews and then get told no. So,
right?
which is what the other job ended up doing to me, which I was a little ticked off about. But I'm not super upset because hey, you know what, whatever. I don't have to deal with
Whatever.
it. But he says he still wants to bring me up there for the other position, which is the same pay. So it's a little bit of a pay cut, but by a little bit, I'm talking like 64 instead of 68.
See, no, that's all I was getting at before was I don't remember the yearage, but there was a time when you said you was like making like nothing. So that's what I was getting at is like you've
Oh
handled
yeah.
it before. You'll be all right.
Well, yes. So, but there is like I'm not saying there's a standard of living, but there is a cost of living in each area that you should maintain to be able
Well,
to
yeah,
live decently and not have to deal with the nonsense going on and live in the higher crime areas. Because I've been there, I've done that. I don't have time for that. Well, because that's basically like I was living when I was up there near you. I thought that was a nicer area. It was not terrible, but I still had a lot of nonsense going on around me
yeah.
and dealing with that. Um, because that even that crackhead lady upstairs was trying to sell us baby
Right.
formula that had been used. I'm like, no, I'm not touching that stuff. Like, no, I'm not buying it from you.
Used baby formula.
So you can go get your fix. And no, I'm not doing that.
Well, she was trying to get her fixed, man. Come on now, you got to be nice to your fellow man.
Yeah, no, that lady was nuts. Um,
So wait a minute. So
yeah.
based on this base news, so that means you'd like gonna try to establish where you're at, right?
So here's the plan. So I'm going in tomorrow. I'm uh I'm putting my application in for the other Tampa position. I'm also following it up with my boss about
Oh.
a direct transfer to Tampa.
Okay.
And if neither one of those pan out over the next couple weeks, hopefully, I'll hopefully know something sooner than that. But if they don't pan out, because my boss could tell me no, they're not going to do it, because he was supposed to talk to him on Tuesday, and I wasn't there on Tuesday. Today we were busy. He was in meetings all day, so I'm hoping tomorrow that I can sit down and have a meeting with him and say, hey, look, what's the situation? Do you have an update? And so I can make a decision.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And if that doesn't pan out and the other Tampa position doesn't pan out, then there is a person that wants to give me a promotion here, which
Ugh.
it's not really a promotion right now. It would be a lateral for the next year because I would be the same pay either way. But the following year, it would be even more money. So it's another promotion next year, not this year, like I'm already getting. So if that's the case, then what the wife and I have talked about is possibly just staying here and settling down here instead. And just not really like settling for the job, but just accepting the terms of, okay, if this is where we're at in 2 years, then, and everything's going great and I'm not miserable with what I'm doing, then I'll stay and I'll keep doing it. And
you'll stay.
And I won't try to leave, and we'll just go from there. Dagnabbit, did I just I need to take this ring off for a minute. It's just showing scars on my finger, and I don't need that.
That being said, Robert, we could try to get you into a show in the future here.
Yeah.
Now that we don't have to deal with. It was just going to be a coincidental week for perhaps missing something. So.
Yeah, and I meant to get in touch with you on that Monday, but I totally was busy and like not even around a computer, really messing with my cell phone at all. I was really just out of it. Because I don't even remember what time I went to bed. I need to take the dagnabbit. I'm getting like coronavirus or something on my finger.
You can't get it on your finger.
You explain to me what this is then.
AIDS.
Is that what that is? It's growing on my finger?
I don't know.
AIDS is growing on my finger.
You gotta get it before AIDS, man. Oh man.
Is that why?
Your girl wasn't gonna let her use a laptop for it? Okay, well then we wouldn't feel so bad about it because you wouldn't have missed anything anyway. I mean, that's what you're going to use, right? So.
As soon as you have something available, let me know. Then we can figure that out. Because honestly, I should be more available now than I was before, or at least.
Well, give me that damn laptop.
But I'm still But basically, I'm still moving regardless. It's just more of a
God. It's freaking nomad. He just can't sit still.
Well, no, I mean it's because we need a bigger place. We have to have a bigger place. So
But that's kind of always been your tale.
has always been the option. Has always been on the table, regardless if we move locally or we move, to Tampa or Orlando.
No, right? No, it's understandable. You got a family. You got to be in a bigger spot.
Yeah,
so
it's like the kids have to have their own rooms. Yes, I have 3 bedrooms here, but I wouldn't be able to do this on the regular if I didn't steal one of their rooms. So, because I've turned this into my office / studio /
demolition area.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. Those planes are in good shape. I shouldn't say that. Those planes are in good shape.
Yeah, they stay. Yeah, because they don't do nothing. They just sit here. Because I haven't had time to get out there and fly them.
I was gonna say, which means, of course, he hasn't flown. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah, I walk in here once a week, if that. Like I didn't even walk in here last week.
But you got planes in the car, right?
No, I brought them back in here.
Oh, they're not in the car anymore.
Yeah, because this one was in the car. This one was in the car. You know what? I took them out when I bought the Benz. Oh yeah, I bought a Benz. I don't know if you guys knew that.
We all bought Benzes, dude.
Yeah, I bought a Benz. Bought that Benz.
Okay, so when are you gonna fly these damn things? I know it ain't been raining down there.
What had happened was.
This is where the stories begin.
The government.
Oh, good God!
The government had a conspiracy against me. It was the Russians.
The Russians want you to fly so they can take pictures from outside the fence. Yes, I did. I did get your email. Yes. At least I think I did. I'm gonna check. Wait, let me double check. Make sure. You're talking about that one with the. Wait. I know what it was. It was a couple days, like 3 days ago, isn't it? Wasn't it 3 days ago? Wait, it's Wednesday. I'm sorry. I'm getting my days confused.
Yes, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. We all know what day.
Yeah. So that's my update, and I mean, basically, I'm still trying to find if we end up going locally. Finding a place locally, then it's gonna be a substantial move. So I'll probably still have some downtime during that time to try to transfer everything over and get set up and get moved and unpack and all the things that go
good
along
stuff.
with that.
Yeah, yeah. It was a while back. Oh, yeah. It was the one you were just asking about what I had for you, which means, of course, you didn't get what I sent you. Okay. Because that was the last one we were talking about, and yeah. Okay, yeah. I didn't.
Damn,
It was basically actually what was related to the bases. Ironic now we're talking about it, and you had mentioned Stearns didn't move. It was funny because, I didn't know if you had settled or not on like whether or not like you were just you made the one trolley where it was the reserve base, and you didn't want to leave Edwards as a reserve base. What I was thinking of was like, you sure you didn't want to leave another one? Because when you were thinking of the TwinVulcan made it come to mind, and I was thinking like, well, if you have a lot of these testings going on, do you want to leave like another base for like all the test aircraft? That would be another option for you. I had a better way of wording this, but I thought it'd be really cool if like, since you are at, like at Edwards, and Edwards is famous for testing planes, it was like you could just leave one open and call it the test base and just have everything there, while the other one is. It was kind of foolish because I was like, we really don't need to do something like this because we basically experiment everywhere we go. But I think that might have been why I didn't actually even bother with it. I might have second guessed myself, and I was like, well, he wouldn't go for that. I wouldn't go for that. It was kind of goofy. But by the same token, I was still trying to be like, well, we could do this, like, I mean, maybe make it something.
You just crazy.
I'm just crazy. I'm just thinking of other ways. So he's got, like, you've got these birds that I couldn't get him to put a fin coat on, but now he's not moving.
I am moving. That's never been.
Okay, well, it's going to be a little while.
But
Humdinger.
No. It's still going to be probably about the same time. It's still going to be a couple within the next like 60 days. Like, I'm talking like probably end of May.
Okay, so that means you still not going to do anything until then?
Most likely.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, most likely.
Oh God!
Only because I've got to pack everything up. I got to get everything ready. But I need the next like couple weeks to determine which route I'm going to go, whether I'm actually going out of town and moving, or I'm moving down the street.
Right.
When I say down the street, I mean like 30 minutes south, but instead of 3 hours north.
Oh, so you have like an annex too? Okay. I don't know if they can be construed as an annex or just part of the base, like we like to do. Like we had the annex, and he's got the point and stuff like that. So, well, I mean, if you want to consider that part of the base,
to where, like, how close is it to where you fly? Like, is it literally like a 5-minute walk, like down the street, but like yours is? Like,
yeah.
Like technically, it's not really a 5 minute walk. I mean, it's still technically a part of the complex, like yours is.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the field across from where I was at up there.
yeah, like the point was a little bit of a drive.
Right. That was like a 15-20 minute drive. So that's not something that I would consider like part of the base. I would consider that annex. So it would have a separate.
Yeah, 4 minutes away. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's close. That
That's real close. Yeah, that's. I mean,
that's
depending on
kind
where it's
of
at on the map, I mean, it would I would almost constitute that being the same base, like not even calling it an annex.
well. Plus something else that usually gets included is like if you do pick a park or an area, proximity to the base that it's at, of course, is something you think about. But also like if it can it be included, like if it's still in, like Mark, you pointed out, like mine's just down the street, and you could almost think it's part of our subdivision. Our complex.
Yeah,
If it's that, it's obviously easy. I mean, if it's a different park, like over at Raintree, we had the church annex back there. I mean, it was a walking distance away, but it was something completely different. So we just
yeah,
made
it
it okay.
wasn't attached.
Geographically, it was close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it wasn't attached. It probably still what a 5-10 minute walk.
yeah, kind of, but all through the parking lot of our complex, so it wasn't that bad.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't. It just wasn't attached. And that's more so what I'm getting at is if it's attached to the same complex or same community that you live in, that's that's I would consider that the same base. I would consider that the base flying area, training area, or whatever you want to call it. But if it's literally like in a different subdivision, um, then it would be considered an annex because that's not your property per se.
Right, right.
That's not in your your airspace. We'll put it
In
that
your
way.
airspace, exactly.
Yeah,
Your
that your
primary region
primary
of defense
airspace.
concern.
Yeah.
Like you call it an annex, but say if it was a combat situation, your enemy could feast you there and you wouldn't be defending anything. I mean, it's just an annex. Other people can fly, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
it's a neutral airspace.
yeah.
Is how you would determine that.
I mean, like you said, man, mine's walking distance, but it's, kind of in the complex, but I still call it the Buena Annex because it's where it is, what it is. So, all right. You got a new picture of it. A different picture of it? Like you must have modified it. Booms in the front this time. I'm going to assume. Yeah, OAE basically I was just thinking I just want to clarify that though. Basically I was thinking about that was, we were talking of testing and stuff and the TwinVulcan and things of that sort. So I went a little off the path when it came to like the experimental bases. So I was still thinking bases and I was thinking like, I wonder if it wouldn't be so bad to leave it in as a testing in honor of the fact that like Edwards Air Force Base for real is famously close by. And so but again, ultimately, I think I probably nixed it just because like there's really no point to that. We test wherever we go, so there's always. That's why I don't bother with like fin codes for experimentals. I mean, we have them. You can place them on anyone that you dedicate to experimentals, of course. But um, it will forever and always be XP, just because. I mean, I don't want to take the time to have individuals because we could start saturating the fin codes on this particular type. I don't want to have like XC, XD, XB, and then run out because eventually you would, and everybody have different ones. When basically we're considering that all of our planes, if you're an IVPAC, I mean, obviously you have your own per company, but if you're an IVPAC, we're just basically making our experimental birds part of the what we call the park, the Paper Aircraft Research Center. So you get the XP because it's the experimental plane part of the park. And everybody has, it's not a squadron or anything, it's just a detachment. If you've built a plane that you experiment with, at whatever base you are, you have a detachment there, plain and simple. It makes it easier. Like I said, I wouldn't want to just run through the A through Z of X's and then numbers before you run out, and it's like, no, it just doesn't work anymore. I thought about making it per contractor too, but I mean, if we ever get big enough to have like multiple contractors, there's really no point to that either. I don't want to, like, I mean, we're already suffering through that. I wouldn't want to have two XSs because then it's like, well, who's the one XS? So, I mean, yes, that's where colors come into play, but like some of you had said, like Mark had said too, famously, like some of y'all, even with you, you could be putting Stern ST on all of your planes and pretty easy to fin code yours. You don't have the issues like me and Mark have, where we got multiple bases, multiple places, which is what makes it worse or better depending on how you look at it. I think it's more fun that way. It was one of the whole points to it, having pictures of planes with certain fin codes indicating that they're from a certain base, and the colors. Because, I mean, again, real Air Force birds usually do this. I especially expected it out of you too, by the way, because you had already showed some of your like you did patches early on. You did patches, you did squadron patches and stuff for the planes that you had. So I was kind of expecting like you would probably end up having something, or at least I was hoping you would have something. Maybe that was the case. I was thinking like, oh, he's definitely going to have a bird with fin codes. He'll be into that sort of thing. So, but hey, whatever. Oh, you guys in this drone kick. Now we had this discussion before, and let me get clarification. What you guys consider drones? Um, these are the planes that get shot at. I just want to make sure because, like, I mean, I always look at it. I literally kept at it or kept thinking about it like that. I think my drones as planes that I use. They're usually in the pallet or the palace or the pad, and we shoot them. I mean, literally, that's it. It's like we try to shoot them down with javelins and stuff. Um, so your guys' idea of drones, like targets or just little birds, or because I mean, again, when we were talking about it, I was trying to figure out. Oh, he had asked about like he didn't even put on the aircraft sheet. Oh, you didn't put You said you didn't put them on there, but you could, and it would like it'd be greatly increased in number. Well, like it's already pretty big. So I was thinking, and you did say you made almost all of them for export or something, but I was like, oh my god, that many more planes. I was just kind of floored. I was like, okay, so if he really just does consider them export, and they are just drones. I mean, yeah, of course, if it's a different type of plane, but I mean, in some cases, you just use. I think of drones in multiple ways. I mean, again, I borrow a lot from real Air Force, so I picture drones as being target planes. And I personally use drones like some of my almost retired birds. I haven't burned them yet, obviously, but I just like I'll color them up really gaudy, and there'll be some red, be some yellow on them, or something like that. And again, I'll take turns shooting them down, target practice. Um, but they can also, I mean, I can also use them as like you were pointing out, they'd be export planes. I kind of consider them quote unquote import planes. It's like somebody else, not you guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't do this like there's not a Cobra or a Warhawk or a Raven in here that I've got that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take it outside and practice shooting at it. No, no, no. Especially because I'm interested in the tech. But like, if I find something out there that somebody built, it could be a little kid, could be another adult, I don't care. But after we've examined the tech, or we've even built our own, or just modified it to my purpose, yeah, I might throw it in the pad and practice shooting it down. I may eventually retire it, but again, drones, something somebody else built that I've stored, something I've built that somebody else is playing that I really like. I'm not going to use it for myself because it's somebody else's plane. But again, since I think of drones as the truest, method. I'm going to shoot them. I plan on shooting at them. I'm not really going to, like, they're not going to be part of my force in any way. I'm not going to fin code them. They're not going to belong to a squadron, and I'm not going to build them myself or for myself. I might just borrow the tech like I do with you guys. So it does make me, like I said, when you guys talk about it, it makes me wonder, like, so, my God, do I got to come up with all these more? I'm hoping you guys don't do it with all of them. It's like, okay, I don't have to worry about more letters, more numbers, more coding. Whew. Drones are just drones. Or in your case, too, like if they're mini. So, all right, let me check it here. Yeah. The third built. So you built 3 of them. And yes, it does have the boom. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool, actually. I like that. That probably makes it a lot more sturdy. Do you glue the flaps, winglets slash anhedrals back together, or is there like a center line anhedral back there, or does it just like the wings just meet and the anhedrals are only outboard? I see it's actually got a fold in the center of that boom, so that must be where you hold it from to launch it, I would imagine. Man, that must be quite a bit of tape, making Robert proud. I mean, it's not laminated yet, but I'm just thinking of, I see some of the places the tape is at, and I'm like, holy cow. Man, man. I like the look. The look is cool. It doesn't, I'll show it to people out there. I'll show it to you here momentarily. We'll get this one put out there for you. Um, you posed it really well. Of course, you meant to. It's like the triangle's at a perfect place, dead in the middle. Good shot. Yeah, you didn't send the bonus. You just said the orbit. You mentioned it. Didn't send anything on there. It's tape or nothing yet. I mean, definitely. And these planes like this, dude, for real. It's like when you go this far into taping all the stuff that's together. I mean, hell, you might as well just laminate the entire thing anyway. Again, we had to work with a delicate balance. I mean, if you're going to make a wing style design, or something that looks basically real, and then decide to tape it, it's one thing. But if you make a standard plane and then tape it, it's something else. You just got to make sure that your weight balances are still good, your glidability is still good. I mean, you got to get technical with it. You got to make sure your weight and drag aren't offset by lift and thrust. I mean, granted, if you had something built on a tape like that, you could obviously throw it a hell of a lot harder. So, yeah, there you go. Man, the orbit's a little thing. I like it. Okay, I like it. It always keeps it so basic. That's pretty cool. I mean, like, literally, there's not much. I don't mean like the folds aren't basic. I mean the instructions and the requirements to build them, which is good. I mean, that's great. In our service use, it is perfect. It should be basic as can be. So orbit, it looks like. Okay, cool. Yeah, man, I keep getting all these pictures. I'll post them up when Mark gets back on here. So I mean, so everybody can see them. Um, but by the way, guys, keep in mind you can put them into like either our Facebook page or like you can post them up in the shared drive too, so there's some access to it. Because again, if I go into writing something on the e-zine or if I'm showing off some of these things on a different show or whatever, I'd like to be able to access that. Well, obviously I can get to Instructables, but I mean, like, you know what I mean. I I like having a core group of the photos. I got plenty of my own, um, and some videos that I've put up there. I mean, if you guys get videos, it's fine. Obviously, it's cool to see those, but obviously, you still considered orbit like part of your run, though, right? Like it is. It's on the master sheet, right? You didn't totally bypass it. You just built like one or two, and it's like, oh, this one's better. So orbit's going to be retired right away. But you did include it. That's all that matters. That's a nifty little bird, actually. Was Spartan built almost the same way? Or actually, forgive me, I should say, was it did the same thing? Like it flew about the same? Because I imagine that would be one of the reasons why you would. Oh, I mean, orbit would get replaced right away. It's basically whatever Spartan was built, and it's like, oh, this does the same thing, only a little better. Or maybe it's built a little bit more unique. The two things that basically cause us to pass on one design is or modify the next design, use a design over another one. The two basic things us is like the design is too basic, or I mean, it just gets supplanted by the other one. I mean, obviously you can throw it into reserves. I don't like to think that the reserves are just where old planes are, being put out in the pasture. But I mean, come on, let's face it, that's basically what it is. And if you have a bunch of planes, that's why I like having the bases, is because it's nice to have them in different places to work on them. So that's whacked. Why the hell would they do that? I mean, yeah, like why can't you look at your own pictures and put them up in there, man? It's messed up. Dude, Instructables just sounds like a whole bunch of bad things. Better ground handling. You don't mean like you're literally like towing it around, do you? That's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm just picturing that. Oh no, going back to what you said before though. 7 to 9 MUP pylons on TwinVulcan. Jesus, dude. I would definitely like to see it with. Yeah, Spartan was immediately afterwards. Yeah, got that. Dude, dude. Where are you gonna put? I would give it 6 max of 7. 9? Thinking 9? Man, I'm trying to picture exactly where 9 would go. I would definitely. You definitely got to post up some kind of info. You definitely got to post up some kind of info as to, um, like the flights with the potentials for like where they go,
I
like
mean,
steppingly increasing the MUPs on there. I want to see how. I would love to see the data.
I mean
I'd like to see
nine
how it flies with 2, 4, 6.
nine comes after 8, but it's
You can't
before
sound
10.
intelligent just by saying a phrase when you get back on, dude. It's not the way it works, Bill Nye.
But that's what you asked. You asked where 9 went.
He's showing no. God, yeah, we're 9. Shut up.
That's what you asked.
I did not ask where. No,
That's what you.
shut up.
It was more of a statement with slash question.
Listen, fool. Here, post this up for. I'm getting some stuff from them. Everybody's seeing here. Like, post this stuff up so everybody can see them. We're looking at another picture. This is like number 3 of the twin Vulcans that OAE just released. And
What the
like he said,
heck?
he's looking at 7 to 9 of his MUP twos, post putting them on there. Like, I can't imagine, where would you put them? I'm trying to picture how it would put them and not be a severe penalty on the plane. Although the plane might be bigger than it looks, but I mean, I can see that, you're looking right there at the. That's the grid line marking. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute, how? This plane is
Um,
not that big.
hang on. Let me work on.
7 to 9 of them. Damn. I can picture 6, maybe 7, if you center line it. I'm like 9. Damn. And even 7 though is like, wow, dude. I'm trying to picture like how. Like I said, again, it floors me. I can't see how it wouldn't be too tremendous of a weight
Um,
burden, especially if the MUPs were in use.
that's a crazy looking thing there.
I mean, it's really cool. Like I said, he had talked about putting that boom on the front there, and obviously he did it. So I see
But
he's also got, there's like a center fuselage point there, so that there's a
how
good
do you
place to
even
hold it from
throw
throw
that
it.
thing? I don't. Is that the
Well,
front?
he's yeah, that's the front. That's how he increased it. Well, like we had said, like it was obviously an asymmetrical throw before, but now that he put that boom up there,
You
and
throwing
see,
this
there's a
thing?
center line fuselage point there. That's probably where you can throw it now, at least symmetrically. Hell, you could even put like a rubber band launching point on there, a la Robert. But again, that plane might
I
get tore
just.
up under the stresses. But how are you going to fit any more than 6 MUPs on there? It's like, holy cow, dude.
How big are they?
Well, he just put him up there. He said like a half inch wide, and he's figuring for about a quarter of an inch between each unit. So, I mean, you add stuff like that under wing. Are you thinking? You're not thinking over wing. You're just thinking under wing, right? I'm assuming. And I'm thinking like, okay, each unit is going to act like a stabilator. It's going to stabilize the plane, but man, that's a lot of drag. Damn, that's a lot of drag.
That's just. I mean, I wouldn't put more than 4 on that thing, honestly.
But who knows? I mean, he could have it. That could be his primary, like heavy cargo, heavy bomber, heavy transport. Rather, it'd be big enough. But again, we're looking at it the same way you or I. It's on one of these boards, right? So each block indicates an inch. So I mean, even there's only 2.25 inch of space between fuselage points right there up on that front boom, which means there's basically 4.5 inches between the twin fuselages back there. It's not a lot of space.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'd probably put them on the inside. Like, basically one here, and then one here, and then call it a day.
Yeah.
Because I would put them on the inside versus the outside of the wing. Because I feel like that's where it would be more stable.
Dash 29s that carry 2. Okay, so yeah, your basic Vulcans that carry 2. Okay. You're not thinking about putting any under the boom though, right? So, and I'm picturing, again, I'm just picturing like, okay, so yeah, on the inside of it, because outside the wings, man. Um, Here's another question too. Thinking about that is like, so if you have a MUP, obviously the MUPs are a specific design, but have you like MUP twos are different than MUP ones, but have you thought the design further? Can you make a MUP like, what if it was one big massive one that was in the middle that was basically like, seriously, I'm not going to build one right here, but if it was say this large, like this canister is, if you were to tape this together and this was like 4 inches 4 inches long by 2.5 inches wide. Like you said, they're only a half inch wide. If the MUP was big, though, what about that? I'm yeah, I mean, right. And any plane with a bigger wing loading,
Ain't
those
nobody
ones
got
that
time for that.
the ones Mark has right there, NASA's birds, those three. I mean, well, two of them especially. They've obviously got some pretty big wing loading because of how much wing they've got, so they can carry more. But you put
Yeah,
something,
but they're not that big.
not only that, but they're probably not that strong either. So the further
No.
out you get, the worse it's going to be. However, he has fixed that. I mean, with a twin fuselage, anything in between the wings is going to be a lot stronger than outside the wings.
That's what I was saying. That's why I think that if you put 4 on the inside, it should be fine. But I don't see how you're going
He's
to get
got to
more
be.
than 4 because putting anything on the outside is going to just it's going to cause a problem.
And that, yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking, like, oh, Robert's right. Like, I'd like to see it fly. I want to see it fly. Then I want to see it fly with a mup or two on it, and step up, just see, just to see, because it's intriguing to see where you're going to go with that many of them and how it's going to go. It could be. It could be. I mean, I'm also picturing kind of like some flights. If you got it under the wing, and if the drag is bad, it just kind of, But he also sent instructions on the orbit, which was like a stillborn project he had.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Orbit,
This is just working.
orbit's kind of cool actually. But it's cool looking. But he said orbit like passed off because Spartan was a lot better. It was the next design produced. But orbit is a nifty looking little bird, so we don't know that for sure. That's
Yeah.
the link onto orbit there. He showed us because, yeah, he said like that's not even in the list. Didn't even make the list of aircraft. So I'm like, holy cow, he's got another one. Damn. I can't imagine. I'm trying to think of.
This?
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
You talking?
I think it's kind of cool. I mean, like
Yeah.
again, it's stillborn, and obviously he's replaced it. Spartan came out and replaced it, but I mean, nifty little plane. Everybody has their reasons for getting rid of something.
Yeah. No.
I do like the fact that he's got a lot of tails on the planes. That,
I
of
mean,
course, is,
yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad plane. Don't get me wrong when I say that. I'm just saying that I'm not going to build it. This already got too much work involved in this thing.
well, you gotta have some, man. You gotta have Well, here's the thing. You gotta get ideas. That's the key. You gotta get
Oh, I got an
ideas.
idea. I'm not building it. That's my idea.
That's your idea.
Yeah. That's too much folding, man.
Well, he's just putting two Vulcans together. I mean, basically with a boom. I mean, there's a boom there, but yeah, And we built one of them. We built one of them on the show before. It's not that bad. Yours did turn out a little funny.
Mine was horrible. It was horrible. Horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, see, the tray pod idea. I'm thinking yes, the tray pod is probably a much better option. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I'm just thinking it's a good option. I mean, because when you've got the way you have the design is so open to if you do that like filling up that bottom area, it's like another lifting body. You know what I mean? So hey, you know what? On flying wings, you can put a lot of mups. I think Mark, like even Mark with his there, if he would have put any kind of like Mark, you could do cylinders, right? You can do Pisces on those. You can do Pisces on basically anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, and I mean they're not going to be well because they're not like a pod that they just allow air to pass through. So I mean obviously it's like they're going to stabilize something. So again, you can put them on basically anything. Um, but we're not looking at putting like four even on a broad wing plane like any of the ones you've got there actually is a good example. You wouldn't put four on any of those. They're just too small for that.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that anyway? You've got like even the broadest wing ones only got about like a 2.5, 2 inch wingspan. Is that 2 inches? That is not 2 inches. Really? That one right there. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, because each of your squares is an inch, right?
Yeah.
So that means the wing, or at least one wing, from fuselage to tip, is only 2 inches.
2.5.
2.5. Okay.
If you're going to this fold.
Yeah, the first anhedral fold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 from here. From here to here, from here to here.
So that plane is like.
This is Firecat.
I know, but the way you made it though, that plane is a lot bigger or smaller than it looks. It looks big, but it's small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fairly small. This is bigger.
Yo, yeah, okay, maybe that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Because I knew you'd made that, but I didn't know. Like, I was using the other one as reference.
Experimental one.
Try to see if Firecat can be enlarged.
No, this is not that. This is a different version / thought process from Dagger.
Oh, okay.
Took some of the same concept. This one's not. They're similar, but they're not. There's a lot of the same folds, but they're not exact.
On top of the fact that
it's
it's
the same plane.
Right. On top of the fact that, of course, it's much bigger.
Yeah, it's much bigger. Because this was made out of like the 6x6 or whatever.
Right.
6-inch by 6-inch piece of paper or whatever. So was this one? This one was like made out of 7, maybe. No,
but that's not.
This one was made out of the 6.
Okay.
This one might have made out of. What was that? 5? Yeah, 5. 5x5 square, 6x6 square. Is what I did.
You just enlarged this. You just enlarged the square. Okay.
Yeah, I enlarged the square. Made something completely different. Because this one is much heavier in the nose than this one is. This one's almost got like no folds to it, and this one's got a ton of intricate folds in the front.
This is like the one you are probably least likely to repeat because of the folds.
I mean, I've got 2 of them. One of them stays unfolded for that reason.
Oh, okay. So you could repeat it if you chose to.
Yeah. Number 1 is unfolded for that reason.
That's
this
slick.
One I didn't fold. Like this is number 1, and I didn't unfold it yet to make another.
Robert, would you say co-build? Is it like one of the ones like we talk about where like you use some of yours and you used like some of your idea and some of his idea went in the same plane? If so, you guys would be the first ones to do that. We haven't done that yet. We've got co-builds, of course. We've done a few on the show, but neither one of us have ever actually put one into force usage. The Corps doesn't have any SMA products yet.
Not technically. No.
Not technically, no. Which, of course, that reminds me. Those planes might have to be looked at. Because, like, seriously, you guys you have another company in the fact that you guys have worked together. Or built at least a couple things together. So, there's something else. You can't even consider that.
Yeah, that's a separate company in itself.
Yeah. That damn. But
Now you got more work.
I don't need to hear that. See, you got to put fin codes on. You got work.
Ain't nobody got
Damn
time
it.
for that. I got some moving to do.
Well, yeah, it's still months down the road, man.
Not well, yeah, but how long is it gonna take me to find a place and everything else? It's gonna take me a couple months.
Well, in the meantime, you could be flying.
Now I gotta take this whole stinking booth behind me down.
Yeah, but that's not going to take much time.
That's gonna take at least half a day.
Oh my God, half a day. Look out, cards. Here we come.
Yeah, that's gonna take me at least half a day. So that's at least 2 weeks worth of work that I can't do.
What?
That's how government works.
I know that's how the government works, unfortunately. That sucks.
Yeah, it takes me 4 hours to do something, so I'm gonna take 2 weeks.
The Ultra Delta Mega. Yeah. I mean, in a way. But, I mean, come on now. When we produce something, usually here, we produce. So. Yeah, he should make a tutorial for that. I mean, obviously that's like basically, well, I mean, Ultra Delta Mega. I wonder where that could be. But it's kind of, Mark's going to have a field day with that name.
Yeah.
At least you didn't call it the pancake, because God knows where he'd go with that one.
Yeah, no. No. Ain't doing it.
Did you think, speaking of which, you need to actually put those strakes we were talking about on there too, though. Because I bet you haven't had a chance to play with that either, right? Well, you haven't had a chance to play with anything. You should put a strake on that thing. The dagger, that is what I'm talking about. Bet you didn't think about that, did you?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Come on, man. It was your idea.
What?
Putting strakes on there.
What?
Remember going back into the show, and he'd said there would be room. You had said there could be room for. I mean, there were other things you'd mentioned, but I just vividly remember the strakes because I could picture where they would go, and thought it would look, like it would help. It would look good. You should at least have that one, just so you have the idea. You could build it as a pry fly. I mean, no problem there, right? Come on. You're going to need pry fly when you move anyway. Pry fly is what's going to help you move. So, oh my God, dude. You put it on a powered plane? Yeah, okay. Well, okay. When you make it powered, you make it different. Obviously, any plane that's going to have a power plant is going to be a lot better. Being able to handle your constant thrust is one thing, but you also going to have to make sure, obviously, that it can withstand the forces put upon it so they stay on board during the entire flight. I've always considered that, when you're dealing with planes like our normal planes or the ones NASA's has, attempts to build all the time, the ones that usually turn out to be attackers. You obviously don't throw that as hard as, say, a Thunderbolt, for example. So, obviously, if you try attaching something on a Thunderbolt, it had better be really secure, or else it'll just rip off. And this is where it gets tricky when we're talking about the heavy bombers or the heavy transports being made by the biggest planes, or the biggest planes being made from, say, the interceptors. Because they are solid, but they can withstand a lot harder throw. And if you talk about adding stuff onto them, or even putting stuff into them, you don't want to throw so hard that you lose the cargo. You lose the bombs.
Biggity
Yes.
bombs.
They're the bombs. Yes.
Biggity bombs.
I mean, now of course, if you have like, say, my cruise missile carrier, or I use the term loosely, but the one that holds rockets. You know, if you're carrying rockets on board, you better hope the rockets are staying on board. You know, so I've not had a problem yet, but I don't throw it too hard. And besides, they're getting the job done. You throw the plane, it launches the rocket. What more is there? You know, so. And not the mops themselves drop. I keep said mops, not the mops themselves dropping off the plane. Okay, good job. But you make it sound like the pylon that they're resting on, is the only thing staying on the plane. Like the pod drops, but the pylon remains. Then you just might as well have strakes, like NASA is supposed to do over there.
Yeah, well, I don't know what I was talking about.
Do you still have any reacts around, by the way? Are they nearby, or are they?
What was that one?
The one we built.
Yeah.
You know, the. Yeah, that'd be it. Yeah, okay, so you do have one nearby. All right.
I got 2, yeah.
Okay. And that's what we built, right? Didn't we build 2 of them?
Yeah, we built, 4.
Right. You got the one.
2 and 2.
Your first one looked kind of strange, and then you try to build the second one the way mine looked.
Yeah. Yeah, I built this one first, and then...
That, I have to admit, that seriously is the one I'm the most anxious about trying to fly. I really want to see if these work. They flew so good inside. I really want to get those out. And it could happen. We're supposed to have some pretty decent weather now. That's kind of what I talked about changed our title to, was the fact that March is coming. There's a good chance we can, get some of these planes out, test all this tech we keep talking about.
Hey Siri, what's the weather on Saturday?
Looks like it will be pretty windy in Juno Beach Saturday. The high will be 70 degrees, and the low will be 62.
Oh, that's cold.
8 degrees of difference. Damn. That's cold. No, it sounds like it's going to be windy. Windy. We're looking for windy.
Yeah. Well, I wish it would tell me exactly what kind of windy that is. I mean, it's got the windy symbol.
Oh. Well, the days are getting longer, too, so there's more chances for us to actually be able to fly, after work, for example, so.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking forward to. It's not getting dark.
Because, that's the biggest problem with winter is, you can't even fly when you leave. For those of us that have, if you got a place to school, work, whatever it is you do, if you can't get out during the day, you got to wait to get off, and it's in the winter months, it's just too damn dark.
Yeah, for me, it's either rainy or windy or
dark.
Cold. It's freezing cold.
Freezing cold. Jesus.
It's 62, man. What am I going to do?
I don't know. Put sweatshirts on, you wussy.
I need a turtleneck.
It got up to 37 today.
To what? I don't know what that is.
And I wore short sleeves. I mean, because, dude, it's 37. That's kind of warm.
I will say that it got down to 42 when I was up in Orlando last week.
Yeah, you went up north.
I went way up north, and it was down to 42 during the day. During the day, it was 40s and low 50s, and windy.
Man, I feel for you.
I was dying. I was in shorts and a t-shirt, and I was dying, and I had to wear a coat.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be wussies. I can't handle the warmth. He can't handle the cold. See what happens, people? Don't be like us, man. Just make sure you can adapt to anything.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I mean, dude was even a Marine, and they teach you to overcome, adapt. And look, he can't do either.
I can't do it.
I
can stand the heat. I can't stand the cold.
I want to see that too. I want to see that. You talk about how it can be launched. That really intrigues me. I want to see them launch. Robert, you got to show me. Show me. Can you show me in Messenger the picture of those? I'd like to see this 32 weight paper too. Really, damn, I want to see that. Especially if you turn it into something. You might not even need to taper that one. You might just leave that one alone. I thought it was cool when he posted up that video of like a quote unquote normal plane for us. That was neat. Like, oh, he does build planes that are somewhat similar to ours.
Right?
Yeah, like we thought we were we thought we were being left behind and something like that. He's like, no, I can do that too. Here we go. Here's something that normal people build. The MUP is the pylon. Okay, yeah, because P is pylon. Right. See, so you can just make whatever it is, your number sequence for the pod, and this bigger one we were talking about, the tray design or whatever. Or Mark, do you remember when we were talking about how my plan was for, like, obviously we were talking a twin keel design, and then putting like a box in the middle of some sort. Yeah, for like, okay, so like modular transports. We had mentioned this before, or modular carry.
Yeah, basically you have the double fuselage with a box tube going down the middle in between the two.
Do you think it'd be better to like have a like develop a box or use a prefab box, like something you can get like a toothpaste box, for example, because that's the one we were showcasing.
Yeah, it depends on the weight of the plane and the weight of the box. Because yes, a toothpaste box would work if it was said calendar paper.
Yeah, we wouldn't stick it on any of the ones we've got on our desk right now.
Yeah,
none of these are definitely going to hold
it.
If
you're talking about, anything smaller than that, probably. I mean, granted, you could cut the box down, but I don't know how that would really work.
No. Well, I mean, you'd also probably obviously want to modify the design somehow. I mean, because you really don't want the plane to carry just a flat face in the front. OAE's MUPs, the pods are, pointed fronts and backs to at least reduce the amount of drag the plane's carrying. Yes, I still think I could picture more drag than anything else. But, what did we say? We could build like a ramp between the fuselages, right? We could like stick something so that there is a ramp of some sort, some kind of smooth, flowy area to the box. Because you don't want to bend the front of the box, you could collapse the box.
What? I don't know. I don't know what we said.
We would go into that sometime later when we talk about how the hell that shit could work.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I mean, like, the tubes, like on this one, I mean, a tube construction, obviously, dude, when you have something like this, the wings themselves are basically the plane, and the tube is, well, it is part of the plane. I mean, the only thing in this one's case that's keeping it part of that plane is that paperclip. If I took the paperclip off, this would separate. It'd be two different things. So, I mean, if you really want to get technical, this is kind of a pod in of itself. It's just integral to this plane. This one in particular, I mean, we could all make one where we tape it together, and it is, it becomes one. But it's still, in this one's case, it's two parts. So this could be the pod that carries stuff. And obviously this one, being tapered the way it is, narrow to wide, a little bit more aerodynamic. So storing something in there, be it, weaponry or be it cargo, not so much of a weight penalty when it's tapered, at least. It's a little bit more aerodynamic, especially being round. And these don't fly that bad. I've experimented enough with the round fuselage birds to know that like that's not that much of a weight penalty as long as you keep it pretty even and straight. This one flew really good inside. I haven't taken it outside yet because, well, I haven't taken it outside yet. But I've taken the other little ones, little bat wings outside that look like this one, and these are really good. So I highly suggest this is kind of the way to go. If you could, Mark, if you could think of a way, OAE, Robert, also, if you could think of a way, like if any of yours, well, Robert doesn't have to do it too much because he already kind of rounds his bodies out. But if you had a way of like putting a wing with a tube and just integrating it like that, I highly suggest that's like just design a plane around that and see if you can get it to make it. Snap, crackle, pop.
Coronavirus.
What? No. Not how that goes, fool. Yeah. The tube plane you were talking about, no, I don't have to do that. That's the one we already put the hitch on, see? That hitch is already there. I'm ready to go. We had to because this is what we were talking about. And hell yeah, that one's that's about the only way to launch it. You can't pinch it that well. Although, I mean, again, it wouldn't be too bad to create a little tab on it so you could throw it. I have problems with throwing those, like the other ones that I do have that look like that one. But I think, Mark, I think this is the next one we got to build for SMA. I think we got to build a hybrid of some kind.
Yep. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, dude, okay. How about we do this? It's even better than that. I believe we should build a 4-step plane. And then like we don't even have to do it together. You come up with something that only involves 4 steps, and I come up with something that only involves 4 steps, and then we hybridize the two. What do you think about that?
I mean, honestly, this one.
Right?
This one probably is only like 4.
Well, that's what I mean, because after 4 steps, you keep a plane. You know, like you were talking about before, how we have a tendency to like overdo planes because we've got all these ideas.
Yeah.
And REAC is a good result of we stripped it down, we made it better. It's still more of a 4-step plane, but it's not much more. So that's what I mean. At 4 steps, you keep the plane pretty basic still. So if you thought of a 4-stepper and I thought of a 4-stepper, but then we like combine them somehow. Like literally, it's like, okay, take yours apart at one point and cut that off, and then I'll tape it onto this part of mine. Boom. See what I'm saying? It would be like a true hybrid.
I don't know about that.
It could work. I'm not saying we like, okay, you cut the front end off of yours and I'll take the back end off of mine and we'll put them together. I mean, potentially that could work, but I'm not suggesting
that's what you sound like.
I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting we, like take a fold out and install a different fold. For example, it could be something we do together. It could be something we do like, okay, I mean, literally with this plane right here, it's like, okay, so I built this one. So you would say I would fold that up in and backwards, and you know what I mean? It's kind of like what we normally do if we use tech from somebody else, but we're like redoing it somewhat. Like we could set parameters for it. If there's like the first two folds that make the wings, for example, we could say like, okay, you can't touch those, but you can do whatever else. Okay, I can't touch the folds, but what if I cut the triangle out? See what I mean? You could do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it could be interesting. I mean, come on, man. We got to try it. I believe I've heard of the XC20. The XC120. Isn't that one that like was kind of like what somewhere around, and I know the numbers are the same. The C119, it was modular, right? I believe it's kind of where I got the idea from the box. Yeah. It adds the yeah, exactly that. That's our idea right there. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying our idea is original. I'm just saying that's the idea. I mean, dude, it's like intermodal transportation. The intermodal transportation obviously is like the wave of the present. Maybe not the wave of the future anymore, but like 20 years ago, it was the wave of the future. That's why it's everywhere now. Those little cargo containers that are about 53 feet that can go on trucks, trains, or boats. It's freaking perfect.
Is that what the so what's the plan for next week?
Well, I don't know. What do you think? What should we do? Do you think we should try to do that?
I don't know what you want to do. What you guys want to do next week?
This is weird because we kind of don't normally plan ahead that far, but I mean,
Would you want
we
to
could.
try one of those hybrid builds next week?
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be cool.
All right. Well,
Especially if we could.
do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Zeta,
I mean,
Zeta stream. He's always gonna try to get. That's gonna be like a 5-hour stream. I'm not doing that.
well, we're gonna do it eventually. We just
That's probably gonna have to be a Friday stream or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, we could do that though, right? I mean, we could do that one time. We'll do like a, IVPAC weekly exclusive.
Oh my goodness, I don't know, man. Let's do that after I know where in the world I'm going.
He would have said that even if he 5 months from now, when he gets settled in a new place, he's gonna say, "Let's do that."
Let's do that after I decide, after I figure out what I'm doing in the next like 5 years of my life. No, I think we'll readdress the topic once we know where we're at, and
But guys, these are great ideas. I mean, definitely, and these are part of the scheduling process. We know we want to do this. I've wanted to do one of those for the longest time. I'm kind of scared about having to do it. Have like, okay, so I'm gonna have a wing. You can't even see my hands. You see that? You can't see my hands because that's where the wing is. But hey, speaking of which, I don't see either one of y'all putting them up there either. You guys could do that too. It's like, well, here's my giant ass flying wing. You throw it, and it gets shady outside all of a sudden. Like, see that? That's my 4 foot long flying wing flying overhead. How am I gonna find? How am I gonna find a sheet of paper that's 4 foot wide? Where am I gonna go get that sheet of paper?
That's bigger than calendar paper, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Like, how am I gonna do? I don't even have paper that big.
Okay, wait a minute. I take it back. I do have some bigger sheets. I probably have sheets that are at least. Well, the thing is, we got to make it to its maximum potential. I do have some poster board, and I do have some bigger sheets. I think I've got some sheets that are at least 3 feet wide.
I don't have anything that big.
Nothing really at all.
I mean, I've got calendar paper, so I'd have to piece it together, and that's not really the idea.
No, but the thing about it is, though, is it's a flying wing, so even if you had tape just to offset to build it together, the wing, in theory, should produce more lift than the gravity, the weight, the drag that you're going to make by taping it. So, again, in theory, it should be okay. It should be perfectly okay for you to, like, just tape 2 calendars together. I mean, but this is what all creators have to do. You gotta build it, test it, and see if it works. So,
man, that's a lot of. I don't even have a. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait till I get to the other place because I don't even have the space to build something like that.
He's not now. He never suggested. Look, he never suggested we do the Goliath, the 44, the 4 foot. Okay, he's not suggesting that. He's just suggesting a big one. So, I mean, again, hell, a calendar paper, one sheet might be adequate.
All right, well, we'll address it at the new place once because my goal is to have a different setup than what I have now in the new place. So I'm trying to have more room so I can set everything up, so I can get everything built and do what I can do. With that said, thank you guys for stopping by.
Okay, guys, appreciate it.
We're at an hour and a half, so. That's we're trying to cut them, so we're not sitting here for 3 hours doing the same thing.
How many times have we said this? We've said this a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of been our cutoff now. We're going to try to do the hour and a half mark. I think we might get it down to an hour at some point, but I doubt it. So I don't know.
That's the spirit.
But appreciate you guys stopping by. And always remember to keep them flying.